Ever feel like the future of the internet is being decided in a courtroom?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a high-stakes battle.
Oh, yeah.
The U.S. government versus Google again.
Again.
And this time, it feels like the stakes are even higher.
Yeah, it's not just about tweaking a few algorithms this time.
Right.
This case could radically reshape how we access information online, how artificial intelligence develops. It touches everything.
Okay, so let's untangle this.
Okay.
We know the Department of Justice is coming after Google,
Right.
claiming they've basically created a monopoly in digital search.
Yeah.
Again.
Again, right.
But what makes this time different?
Well, you're right. Google's had its fair share of antitrust scrutiny over the years, both here and abroad. There have been settlements, agreements.
Right.
But this time the DOJ isn't just talking about fines. They're hinting at a remedy that's almost unthinkable.
Okay.
Breaking up Google.
Whoa, breaking up Google?
Yeah.
Like multiple Googles?
Yeah.
This isn't just about Google getting a slap on the wrist.
Exactly, exactly. The DOJ is targeting what are called distribution agreements.
Okay.
Essentially, the deals Google makes to be the default search engine on phones, browsers, and other platforms.
Right.
They're arguing that these deals make it almost impossible for any competitor to gain a foothold.
So it's like Google's locked down all the best real estate on the internet,
Yeah.
and they're saying no vacancy to the competition.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And that, according to the DOJ, is what's giving them an unfair advantage.
Sure.
Not just in search, but potentially in the future of AI.
Okay, so that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because now we're not just talking about search results anymore. We're talking about the future of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, right.
This feels huge, and like it could have implications far beyond Silicon Valley.
It could indeed. And the DOJ is pushing for a surprisingly fast-tracked timeline.
Oh, wow.
They want the trial to begin in April 2025, with the decision as early as August of that same year.
Wow.
This is moving incredibly fast for an antitrust case of this magnitude.
Wow. A verdict in less than 2 years. Someone wants to shake things up quickly. So if this is moving so fast and the stakes are so high, let's dive into the heart of their argument. What exactly is the DOJ saying about Google, search, and this whole AI angle? So the future of AI.
Right.
That's where this case gets really interesting, right?
Yeah,
Because it feels like we're on the verge of something massive with AI.
we are.
And this case could determine who controls it.
It's true. The implications of AI are far-reaching, and the DOJ is concerned that if Google maintains its grip on search while simultaneously becoming a leader in AI, the combination of those two things could give them almost unchallengeable power.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a concern.
Right.
But doesn't Google argue that search and AI are two totally separate things? It's like comparing apples and oranges, right?
Sure.
People searching for the best pizza place in town
Yeah.
versus some advanced AI program writing poetry or composing symphonies.
Yeah. That is essentially Google's defense.
They're pushing back hard, arguing that the DOJ is overreaching. They're saying, look, we may have a big presence in search, but that doesn't automatically translate to an unfair advantage in AI. We're happy to adjust specific contracts if needed, but breaking up the entire company, that's overkill.
Right. So they're saying we're good at search, but that doesn't automatically make us the kings of AI.
Exactly.
I'm curious, though, how connected are search and AI? Could Google really leverage its dominance in search to dominate AI?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Right.
And it's one without an easy answer. To understand why, you have to understand a bit about how AI works. At its core, AI relies on something called algorithms, basically sets of rules that allow computers to learn from data. And the more data you feed an AI algorithm, the better it gets at doing what it's designed to do.
Okay, so more data equals smarter AI. I'm following so far.
Now imagine the sheer volume of data Google collects every single day. Billions of searches, clicks, website visits. That data is incredibly valuable for training AI algorithms. So you can see where the DOJ is coming from, right?
Yeah.
If Google has this treasure trove of data from its search engine, and data is the fuel of AI,
Yeah.
it gives them a massive head start.
It's like having a secret ingredient.
Yeah,
Google's got the flour, so they're poised to dominate the baking competition.
that's a great analogy. And it highlights the complexity of this case. There's no doubt that Google's data gives them a significant advantage in the AI race.
Right.
The question is it an unfair advantage?
Right. Because there's having an edge, and then there's being so far ahead that no one else even has a chance.
Exactly.
And that's what the DOJ seems to be concerned about.
Precisely. And it's worth noting that Google isn't the only player in the AI game.
Right.
Other tech giants are investing heavily in AI research and development, and they have their own data sets to draw from. The question is, will it be enough to compete with Google in the long run? So we've got this high-stakes legal battle unfolding with potentially massive implications for the future of AI. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What does all of this mean for the average person? Why should someone who's not a tech CEO or a lawyer care about this case? This case has been fascinating to unpack, but it's easy to get lost in the legal weeds here. What does it all really mean for us, the everyday users of the internet?
Well, it's about who gets to shape the future, right?
Right.
How we connect, how we learn, how we experience the world online. What's fascinating here is that there are multiple potential futures branching out depending on how this case goes.
Okay, so let's explore those branches.
Oh,
First,
yeah.
let's say the DOJ wins
Right.
and Google actually gets taken up.
Yeah.
What would that look like? Would we even recognize the internet in 5, 10 years?
It'd be a radical change. Instead of one Google, imagine multiple smaller search companies, each competing for your attention. You might have one focused on privacy, another emphasizing speed, another specializing in visual search. Who knows?
So a more diverse internet, at least when it comes to search?
Yeah.
That almost sounds like a good thing, right?
It could be.
More choice, more competition.
Competition often drives innovation. We might see a burst of creativity in the search space, new features and technologies we can't even imagine right now, but...
There's always a but, isn't there?
Right. The concern is that breaking up a company like Google, a giant in research and development, could actually slow down innovation in other areas, especially AI. They're pouring billions into AI research, and some argue that splitting them up could disrupt that progress.
It's like the old saying, don't break up the band, right when they're about to hit their stride.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so that's one potential future. What if Google wins? What happens then?
If Google successfully defends itself,
Yeah.
it would be a huge victory for them, solidifying their dominance in the tech world. This might embolden them to integrate AI even more deeply into their existing products and services for better or for worse.
So one path leads to a potentially fragmented but more diverse internet, the other to a future where Google's influence looms even larger. It's almost dizzying to think about.
It is. And it highlights the incredible power these tech giants wield, not just over our daily lives, but over the very fabric of the digital world.
Yeah.
It's a power that demands careful consideration, and this case is forcing us to confront that.
It really is making us think about the future we want.
Yeah.
And speaking of shaping the future, this whole conversation reminds me of something we touched on earlier, Arthur Flux and their ambitious plans for space-based solar power.
Ah, yes. A completely different kind of innovation,
Yeah.
but just as potentially world-changing.
Exactly. Here we are debating the future of the internet, the power of Google, the rise of AI, and meanwhile, there's a company literally reaching for the stars, trying to beam clean energy down from space.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that while legal battles rage on the ground, there are other possibilities for the future taking shape.
Absolutely. It's a future brimming with both exciting possibilities and daunting challenges.
Yeah.
And the decisions made today in courtrooms and laboratories and boardrooms around the world will determine what that future looks like.
So in a world increasingly shaped by tech giants, who gets to decide the rules of the game? It's a question we all need to consider. If this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to look up Arthur Flux, read more about the Google case statement. Your journey into these topics is just beginning. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.